Okay, let's start. This is pointing there. Okay, let's begin. Today we're going to talk about things you can do in order to kick off your acting career. One of the first things that comes to mind is obviously acting schools or film schools. It's a program between 1 to 3 years, and by the end of it, you'll graduate, you get a diploma, and off you go looking for work. Good luck. Thank you, that was it. Of course not, if things were that easy. But they're not. Anyway, so acting school is a very good way to start your, acting career. They have a set program, they have competent teachers, and you spend a lot of time practicing, training, learning different techniques and approaches to it. My issue with that is obviously time and finances. First of all, not everybody have the luxury of time to just set aside, 1 to 3 years and just commit completely to this acting craft. The reality is that most of those schools are actually meant for younger people who don't have jobs and children to take care of, or pets. Another thing is that financially it's kind of, you have to pay quite a lot. A lot of the good schools are, the school fees, the entrance fees are quite big, and besides that, you have to figure out accommodation and food and all of that. So not everybody can afford that. And that's a little bit of a downside for whoever decides to start acting and not necessarily have time or the finances to do so. So my alternative for that would be an improv class. So improv class is a great way to sort of start off with your acting career, because they really teach you about spontaneity and thinking on your feet and get your ass out of your head. No, it's the other way around. It gets your head out of your ass. You're gonna have a lot of fun doing improv, because improv it's all about having fun. Also, the people who take improv classes are very fun people. It's pure joy to be around those guys and learn from them. And there's no particular judgment, because improv is all about just kind of like being there and, committing to the situation. It's not strict. It's very light. It's very sort of easygoing kind of environment. So join an improv class, see where it takes you. It's going to be a lot of fun for you to just be part of that. Another thing I would suggest for you to do is join an amateur theater group. This is another good way to introduce yourself to the crowd of acting. What I liked about amateur theater groups is that it's a very low-key, it's very relaxed, at least in my experience. A lot of actors who are in this group are very welcoming, they're very, open to the new ideas. They're very happy to exchange their experience with you. And they kind of on the same level as you are. I mean, you'll stumble upon someone who has a bit higher level or more experience, but that's only a good thing. It's only a plus, because you can learn so much by just watching them do their thing. You'll get it out of practice by just being on stage and feeling comfortable in front of the audience and performing and all of that. So look for an amateur theater group. Ask if you can join them, or maybe just attend and observe. And also, it doesn't really cost very much, if nothing at all. I honestly never had to pay for, being a part of an amateur theater group. So try that, see how you like it. Okay, next thing I would suggest for you to do is maybe attend one of those open castings. So open castings are, usually organized by film schools. And the reason they do that is to kind of like introduce the students to the local talent. What happens is that you go there, you sign up a paper, and they take your photo, and you get to play or perform one short scene with another partner. The things I liked about open castings is that you'll get to know other actors. You can ask them questions, and they're usually very cool with answering them. Ask them how they got into acting. What did they do to become better? What did they do to develop themselves? And if the students like you, you may get a gig. which is great because that happens. There were a couple of times that I attended one of those open castings, and I had a couple of friends who wanted to get into acting but didn't really know how. They didn't really have much experience, so I said, well, I'm doing this open casting thing. Would you like to join me? And they said yes, and next thing I knew, they got like a part in a short film. Okay, given it's not much, but it's definitely a good start. You never know what's going to happen, so take that opportunity and see where it takes you. Open castings at film schools. Do that. You can also do stage reading. So what is stage reading? So stage reading is kind of a performance, but not exactly a performance. It's not often that you just read from the paper for the audience. Some writers want you to act a little bit, or maybe put on voice to sound like the character. So there is some acting involved for sure, depending on who you work with. What I did once is that I auditioned for stage reading, and because the script allowed a lot for personal interpretation and contributing with your own input of what that character could be, it ended up just being a performance, which is great. So stage reading is definitely another way that you can try to do, because again, you get introduced to the writers, you get to work with them, you get to sort of converse and communicate with them. Maybe it leads to something else, you'll never know. But it's a good experience because you get to see how they work, how they build narrative, and what the process looks like. And it's very beneficial for you as an actor to learn from that process. So yeah, stage reading. Okay, so let's say that you can't afford film school or acting school. There are no improv groups in your local city. There are no amateur theater groups. There are no stage reading going on. What can you do then? Well, do anything. Luckily for us, in the 21st century, there's this thing called internet, and there's tons of things that you can find. There are online tutorials. You can schedule, online touring. That happens. I personally have an online teacher that I work with. Read things. There are tons of reading materials about acting, and it's free. There are master classes that you can buy, and they're not very expensive at all. It's important to start, and going back to that, try to create some consistency. Consistency is very important because it gets you into that habit of committing your time, just doing that. No distractions. I'm just gonna do that no matter what. And it will help you. Once you get into that flow, things just gonna come so much easier for you. And it's not gonna be as frustrating and anxious like it was in the beginning. Keep your mind open. Keep your eyes open for possibilities. Something always pops up once you get on that journey. But for that to happen, you have to start the journey itself. Okay, I hope you found this video very useful, and please like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video. I don't know what the topic is going to be, but we'll see. Bye!